Hello everybody, this is Maniac for Bricks, and I'm here today with set number 7774, Crab Crusher from LEGO Aqua Raiders. This was a set from 2007, and includes 590 pieces. It includes 3 minifigures, some may argue it's only 2 minifigures, and this was originally for retail for about $50 in the United States. You can still find it online mainly, and sometimes they're at reasonable prices, but you just gotta shop carefully. So let's take a closer look at the set now. Here we have our 3 minifigures, or maybe 2 minifigures of the set. They're simply 2 Aqua Raider divers. They are in the different LEGO sets in the theme. And in the middle we have just a skeleton with a rifle. It is kind of interesting to see the faces. And sometimes you have, one may have a different beanie, one may have the scuba suit, but traditionally with these 2 specific characters, as far as their faces go, they usually have the matching headgear to go along with them. Again, they are found in multiple sets. It kind of eliminates how original each of the figures are, how many divers you could, estimate for this theme, but I still think they're really cool. They have a lot of great torso printing, especially on the backs, just how it goes around to the back, and even on the divers, you can see there's a little bit of a trident mark on top of his headgear. So that's pretty cool. We also get extra diving equipment for this one. But he's mainly going to be piloting the vehicle, the submarine. The skeleton rests next to this small rock piece that is included in the set. It has a small piece of seaweed and a peculiar looking barrel. Here's a quick look at it all the way around. Not much to see. It's quickly assembled. But inside of this barrel we have the treasure in the set. We have a couple different pieces of gold, which are 10, 20, 30, and 40, whatever currency that LEGO goes with. And you also have 2 gems. They're in kind of a trans light blue and a trans neon green. Very peculiar, but nice little treasure. As the Aqua Raiders dive in for this treasure, they'll have to encounter this really large crab. Probably monstrous in size compared to a minifigure. Yep, monstrous in size, indeed. He's a dark green, mostly black, and some dark bluish gray around him. A very cool design for this crab. It may be hard to see, but he does have a face. You can see he has small pinchers back here. You can move this back and forth. He has a little mouth there, a little bit of red showing for his for inside of his mouth. And let's see if I can adjust the camera a little bit and maybe adjust the lights a little bit to let you see further inside of him. You can see 2 small trans red round plates that are right above his little green pieces right here. These are his eyes. So it's a little hard to see. I kind of like the effect that they're trying to show eyes, but there's really hard way of seeing it with all the other things surrounding it. Granted, I get the idea that's, inside of the shell and kind of peeking out just to see what's going on, but it might be a little hard to actually get the feeling that there is actually a thing inside of the shell. The shell has printed pieces on the top. They are both printed the same way. You can see right. Flip it around. You can see right there some green spots printed on the shell. Looks very nice, and it also has a few ways of posing. You have each of these claws that can move inward and outward. They got sharp ends, so be careful when messing with this crab. And all of its feet are identical and can move in different directions. These are all in ratcheted joints and have a lot of movability, posability with them. There's enough of these that it can stand up on its own just by the legs, which I'm happy with, instead of having to rest on the claws for standing up. But the Aqua Raiders aren't scared of this monstrous crab at all. No, they have their own weapon against him, this giant submarine. I'll have to back up the camera to show you this in full size, and also bring out its little flipper on the back. This submarine is the largest vehicle in any Aqua Raider set. Now, I know there is a larger set after this called Aqua Base Invasion, but that one is a building, and not a vehicle. And it does have vehicles in it, but none as massive as this. This is almost, it's a pretty good size. It's actually a little bit bigger than some of the earlier Aqua Raiders vehicles I've gone over. Take this one, for example, from the Tiger Shark Attack, where if you look at it this way, you'll get to see not too bad, you know. It's a bigger size in it, that's definite. But, you know, gives you an idea of how big this can be. It's not too bad, I think. I think this is a really excellent, well-done model just by looking at it. But it has more to it than meets the eye. You have a few parts in here that can move back and forth. You could assume that these are harpoon launchers, but they don't actually fire. You have some spikes in the front that can move up and down. Sometimes during play this may be a problem as they tend to move more on their own. Not out of friction or anything, but they're very easy to tamper with. You have one little thing in the front. I'm going to try to hide it for now. Save that for later. We have several different propellers, each of which can spin front and back. We also have that flipper in the back, which can move back and forth. I kind of like seeing that in different sets other than Jedi Interceptors from Star Wars, because it's hard for me to realize what these can be used for in other models than Star Wars. You have these small, I guess they're fuel tanks back here. I don't really know much about submarines, but they are a nice little detail, just on the outside of it. Now we have a few things that are actually on the top we'll take a closer look at. On the top you can see something jutting out of the back, and it's simply this mini sub which can be detached. I didn't really have a place for it on the sub, and actually on the box art they show you can put it in the front of the vehicle, but there is actually no space there. You can take our diver minifigure who has flippers. I forgot to put them on, but let me just throw those flippers back on him. I had him taken off because he was on the minifigure stand before. And there we go. He's got a little mini sub to scoop around in. He's also got some harpoon guns he can take off and fire with. Not actually firing, though. This is actually something we've seen a lot of times for Aqua Raiders promos and Aqua Raiders logos. They would show this guy going around on the sub. It's very small, very easy to build. It even has a small panel back here. You can see that. So, nice little detail there, just to have him, you know, scooping around outside of the sub. Now there's also another secret here, which you may not see right away, but as I turn this around, you might be able to figure it out. Back here is a hatch that we can open up, and inside we have a robotic submarine. This one is actually missing a sticker on the back, as opposed to have a trident for the Aqua Raiders symbol, but you can still use it just the same. This is designed with some robot arms so we can grab some of that treasure, perhaps some of the jewels, since those fit in these clipped hands. It also has a little bit of detail on the back with, I guess, some sort of propulsion, and nice little engine right here. This sub has two ways of opening up. I should actually say three, but two of them are almost the same. On the top, we can take this whole assembly off from this point, and it's only mainly attached from the plates over here. On the back, it's actually a little bit of a hold up with some plates, modified plates with clips on them. So it makes it easy to pop off and look on the inside. Is that not enough room for you? Well, what we can do after that is take down this little section that says open in danger. Well, most of these parts are stickers, by the way. So we'll take down this section, and you can even open it likewise on the other side. So you can have an easy way of docking and loading your passengers in there. We can fit our other figure in here with the beanie hat. He doesn't have a name particularly. And we'll take a look on the inside. I'll try to get as close as I can to show you the inside. But we can see inside of there he has what looks like a blue chair for him to sit in. He has a few throttles that he can use to pilot the ship. He also has a small radar right here. And he also has a sticker piece you can see on that nice trans blue panel. Also above that we can see the red and green lights, you know, to signify which sides the ship is on. That's also shown on the outside and throughout the other parts of the model. Over here you can see those clips I was talking about earlier, and we also have towards the back some of his scuba gear. We have the oxygen tank, so you can move around this gear and also put it onto the second diver so you can have him outside of the submarine as well. He also has a harpoon, a drill back there. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer inside by taking off this back portion. That'll help us reach some of the other things inside of the submarine. This whole part can come off and show us some more things. We can see back there his scuba helmet. He also has a wrench for fixing problems, a hammer, and wonder what this section is. It looks like it has a small engine. It may be a little hard to see in there. Let me see if I can't really remove this piece to show you, but there is an engine inside of here. You can see it has some pistons sticking out, and it also has what looks like a little extra space back here. I don't know if this is intentional to be some sort of, another look at the engine, or if it's just an extra storage space maybe to hold that barrel that we saw earlier. But it's a nice amount of detail, and I appreciate that LEGO did that for the size of this vehicle. There's also another secret to this vehicle towards the front section. This was made out of 3 different numbered bags. The first bag had building the monstrous crab. The second bag had to do with building the back portion of the submarine and part of the treasure. And the third bag has to do with this section of the submarine, which actually is made to pop off of it. I don't know if that's made so you can have it as a mini sub after that, or if it's just to look a little bit better at some of the sticker detail in there, but I still appreciate the idea of it. It makes it easy for combining it at a later time. They did advertise that this can pop off on the outside of the box, the original box that this came in. It actually has a little bit of detail back here. Has some stickers on it, same as we saw it before, and something peculiar down there. Up here we can see there's a small little gray button, and we can press it and it launches a missile out of here. You can see the missile jutting out right there. I stopped it with my finger so we wouldn't get injured. You can actually lift up this portion, and if you need to... Ooh, that scared me. You can lift up this portion, and if you need to adjust anything with the missile, you can do so. You can see inside of there the missile mechanism. So we can load this in. It should click into place, and then we can fire it at our crab. We'll bring him back onto the stage and see if we can fire right at him. Not bad. Obviously not knocking him apart or knocking him over, but I still like it. It's a nice little feature. A little bit sensitive on that button as always, but it still works well. I remember seeing this set back in 2007, and I've always wanted to see it in person. I'm glad to have it in person now, and much like the ocean, there's more to it than just looking at it. There's a lot of interesting features inside of the submarine, and I really appreciate its size, just for feeling like a large submarine and feeling like something worthy of the Aqua Raiders Divers theme. I also appreciate that it's not too big that it's hard to build. This is actually a pretty comprehensible build. It just takes a little bit of following the instructions in order to get all the right pieces in. I would have liked to see that you could fit both of the divers inside of there, and I'm sure that with a little bit of maneuvering there is a way to, but they don't include 2 seats for the divers. I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more detail and more that you could see inside, maybe some more computers, displays, analyzing treasure, perhaps, but I still like the size of it, so you could do a little bit of play on the inside. The monstrous crab is actually pretty neat, although I did say you can't really see the eyes too well. It still has a good size compared to the sub that it seems like a formidable enemy. It is a little bit smaller than some other monstrous enemies that are in the Aqua Raiders theme, though, such as the lobster from Lobster Strike. I also like the little amounts of treasure that we get on the side. As with the other Aqua Raiders sets, they usually aren't big displays of underwater sea life, but it's still enough that you get the idea of this place as a destination with some treasure. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about this set in the comments below. And we will see you next time with more LEGO videos.